It's 1 a.m., and you're the last one in the office. You drag yourself to the elevator, a familiar, slightly rusty metal box. You press the button for the lobby. The display lights up, counting down the floors. Dos en catorce wait. You blink, tired. Did it just skip 13? You shrug it off. Old buildings are weird, right? Full of quirks. It's probably just a superstition thing. You've seen it 100 times and never given it a second thought. But tonight, for some reason, it feels different. A little seed of curiosity has been planted, and it's about to grow into something you'll wish you'd left buried. The next day, you can't shake the feeling. You see the building's janitor, a kind, older man named Arthur, who's been here for decades. On a whim, you ask him, "Hey Arthur, silly question, but why does the elevator skip the 13th floor?" He stops polishing the brass fixtures, his smile faltering for just a second. He looks around, then leans in closer. "There is no 13th floor," he says, his voice a low whisper. "It was sealed off. Years ago. After an incident." He won't say more, just shakes his head and walks away, leaving you with more questions than answers. An incident. What kind of incident requires sealing an entire floor? Now, you're not just curious, you're obsessed. That night, instead of going home, you're hunched over your computer, digging through city archives and old building blueprints you found on some obscure forum. And there it is, clear as day, on a faded schematic. From 1972? Floor 13. It exists. It's real. They didn't just skip the number. They sealed a physical space. The plans show a layout almost identical to your own floor. Offices, a break room, a conference area. Why would they hide it? The janitor's words echo in your mind. What happened up there? A weak, goes sight. The obsession simmers on the back burner, pushed aside by deadlines. Then comes the storm. The sky outside is a bruised purple, rain lashing against the windows. The power flickers once, twice. You decide to call it a night. You step into the same old elevator, the air thick and heavy. The doors slide shut. You press L for lobby. The display begins its descent. 12. And then it happens. The number 13 glows with an eerie, sickly light. The elevator groans to a halt. A jolt throws you against the wall. The lights flicker violently, then die, plunging you into darkness before a single emergency bulb sputters to life. With a sound like a final gasp, the doors grind open. You're not in the lobby. You're staring into a hallway. It's dark, silent, and cold. A deep, bone-chilling cold that has nothing to do with the storm. Your heart hammers against your ribs. Every instinct is screaming at you to stay put, to not leave the relative safety of the elevator car. But the obsession, that nagging curiosity, is stronger. You have to know. Hesitantly, you take one step out onto the dusty carpet. The air is stale, thick with the smell of decay and something else. Something metallic and vaguely sweet. The emergency light from the elevator casts long, dancing shadows down the corridor. The layout is a distorted mirror of your own floor. The posters on the walls are the same, but they're faded and torn. You walk past what should be your colleague Sarah's office. The door is ajar. You peek. Inside, a phone is off the hook, emitting a faint, rhythmic beep. You continue down the hall, your footsteps muffled by the thick dust. You see your own office, your desk, but it's wrong. The papers are scattered, covered in a thick layer of grime. A coffee mug sits on the corner, a dark, moldy sludge at the bottom. It feels like this place has been abandoned for decades, a perfect time capsule of a single, terrible moment. Then you hear it, a soft, wet footstep from the far end of the hallway. There's a figure in the shadows, its shape indistinct. Is it a person? "Hello." You call out, your voice trembling. "Is anyone there?" The figure doesn't respond. It just stands there, watching. You take a step towards it, trying to get a better look, when a loud asterisk, ding asterisk makes you jump. The elevator You spin around just in time to see the door sliding shut. You sprint back, slamming your hand against the cold metal. But it's too late. You're trapped. You frantically jab the call button. The light flickers, but doesn't stay on. You look at the floor indicator above the door. It's a chaotic jumble of flashing numbers. Tresa Noche. Tresa 513. It won't leave. It won't let you leave. A sound comes from the speaker inside the elevator panel. Not the usual automated voice, but a whisper. A dry, rasping sound that crawls up your spine. It says, "You shouldn't have come here." You back away from the door, your eyes darting down the dark hallway. The figure is gone, but you can hear it. The soft, wet footsteps are getting closer. You're not alone on the 13th floor. You're not alone at all. The phone in the empty office begins to ring, a shrill, piercing sound that cuts through the silence. You spend what feels like an eternity in that hallway, hiding under a desk as the footsteps patrol the corridor. Finally, after hours of sheer terror, the elevator dings again. The doors open. You don't hesitate. You scramble inside, hammering the lobby button. This time, it works. The numbers descend. 12, 11, 10. You collapse in the corner, gasping for air. The doors open to the bright, clean lobby. The morning sun is streaming through the glass doors. The night guard, a different one you don't recognize, gives you a strange look. You stumble out, a mess of sweat and terror. As you head for the exit, you glance at the building directory by the main entrance. You've passed it 1,000 times, but you stop and read it. Floor 9, Marketing. Floor 10, Legal. Floor 11, Accounts. Floor 12, Sales. Floor 13, Security and Surveillance. Your blood runs cold. Next to the directory is a bank of monitors showing live feeds from all over the building. Your eyes find the one labeled Elevator 4 Main. On the screen, you see the inside of the elevator you just left. It's empty, but as you watch, frozen in place, you see the reflection in the polished steel wall. And in that reflection, standing right where you were just a moment ago, is you. You're still in there, and the doors are closing.